All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lama. Good morning. And today we are continuing our one-day fasting practice known as Nyenne. Would like to start with lineage prayer. And here we go. Juban zeno nandra jeloi jeloi gamje gambra sombai jeloi galoi jayele bada tendre do toy jebe ganje Nyagara jamba meba chenjela oga ganjengo sombai Nama dego njebe la mala janda son jebe ganjengo Jume maga jevara janjela yeme gamje ngoya zombai kanjara dobe ngo somande majende ganjobe ganjen Gamza lono endrawa jenjela nando ngoy jagra zombai yeyama ye chiriyan chavala mangairo bai jarawe ganjen Korande yeme dobra jenjela yewa gande yanda la amen jeje val alon jeje sadalon je yande Doje change govanya dajo Doje change govanya dajo Yedze chengwa namba chawa nanga tayo mesi chen chijan chawa chumel Yambo yongso banam je dada tenwa yoje de ganda kolo de nyayo Jimba kone momben je to shade to tela Yedze kala chenra chenko je de pe tonde Tengala bo je wa jemba kane sande Kaji rumbo je la za je Samarambo je la so ane Dante lo ye do je la Gumi je la je la chumen na do ga ba je
Please give rise to bodhicitta, and actually I won't even ask you how are you guys doing, because what's going on out there, there's nothing to complain about ourselves, right? If you have a minor problem, think about really the suffering that people going through. As His Holiness mentioned yesterday, that sometimes we caught into our own small minor problems, and sometimes so lost. Others, especially, it's just so tragedy, the useless war, so many victims. Those victims are not those victims are so very fragile, like children, pregnant women, elderly, including those who are at war, just killing each other, and so it's just so sad. At the same time, I think people also have a lot of feelings and resentment, and as a practitioner, we always have to remember that no one deserves any suffering. No one in samsara is perfect, and as Rinpoche always say, that we could point our fingers to certain individuals who caused harm, but at the same time, as a practitioner, especially a Mahayana practitioner, we always generate bodhicitta for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. As a loving mother may have like a few children, and she may have more compassion, more affection, or even like worry about some of her children are not more like going through difficulties mentally, physically. Someone is really, how to say, due to the economic condition, not able to function well in the world, and the loving mother have more affection to that particular child. Likewise, as a bodhisattva, understanding that all sentient beings are that of have been our loving mothers or child, or and no one deserved to experience suffering. And even there is
temporary. Those individuals, like powerful people, may have some victory or something, but we all know that the consequences of this karma is severe. So when we generate bodhicitta, and we have to put extra effort to remind ourselves bodhisattva or bodhicitta means sincerely, thinking that I'm doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment. So having Ison's Kamapa, Tangur Buche, Kembun Buche's images behind me makes me more enlightened. So today I will be continuing teaching on the one-day fasting practice, the really very, very special practice, very could be quite easy as well. Also very healthy in a way. The other day when I taught the other Sunday, that I have mentioned that, you know, it could be me. Yeah, my meditation, I try sometimes, you know, or some other elements takes over. For example, like during the pandemic, and I sometimes seem like taking refuge in food. No, I'm a meditator, I'm a practitioner. You know, sometimes I think, you know, food is, oh, that's good. And then, you know, and then I end up kind of, you know, getting a little puffy. So doing the one-day fasting practice is very good for health. I mean, for me, regardless if I put some weight, I always become like some kind of muscle because I have to, you know, lift up my son, who's like maybe 30, like 35 pounds now, something like that. So it's just kind of heavy. And then all this garden work and a lot of, so it's kind of very nice. So my point here is that one-day fasting practice, even like scientifically or health-wise, even doctors recommend that, you know, sometimes you shouldn't eat evening meals. And even there's a saying that, you know, you eat breakfast like a king, and then lunch as a queen, and dinner as a, you know, like a servant or something, which means that you know, you may eat breakfast a lot, and then lunch little, you know, less, and then evening, like, you know, sometimes like serving, or, you know, some of them don't get much food. So like that, I mean, you know, it's just saying that less eat in the evening, especially before you go to bed. So if even you do one-day fasting practice and not eating in the evening at all, and then it's kind of your physical, you know, kind of totally empty, you know, not continue keeping the leftovers. You kind of, you know, it's more like breathing exercise. The reason why we do breathing exercise, you know, if you don't, you know, breathing like completely cleansing your breath, you know, every day, then there will be some leftover, like old breath that could cause illness. That's why breathing exercise is very, very important. When you're breathing, like, you know, depth of your lung, the beneath of your lung or depth of your lung can completely cleansing. And it's likewise, you know, if you have like a lot of leftovers in a fridge, it may not be healthy. So you want to kind of, you know, occasionally empty it. So it's kind of similar situation that when you're doing Nyenne practice, one-day fasting practice, it's actually called one-day meal. I mean, one meal practice. Some practitioners only eat lunch, but during Kimburumbuchi time, if you do like Nyenne practice, we other places, I saw that we eat breakfast and then lunch, and then you don't eat after that at all. So because we are kind of combined both Lama Tsotomichi Sangha and also Cape Cod KKSG, because this is the second part. This Nyenne practice may have like 4 sessions of teachings, and this is the second part. So I did request Lama Tsotomichi to include both together. We are on the same page, and that's how we came about. So the first part of the teaching was mainly focused on the history, so to speak, or story about how this Nyenne practice practiced during the time of Buddha, and sharing the sutra stories. And then today I would like to once again kind of make sure that we understand that what are the vows, even though I went through that. So what are the exact 8 vows when we're talking about this 8 vows practice? So if you look at the text, and here it begins, from now on I shall not kill, not to kill. I shall not take the belongings of others, which is not to steal. I shall avoid all sexual activities. For third, I shall not lie, spiritual lie. Fourth, and I shall not completely abandon intoxicants, like not to drink, which quickly lead to numerous so that's 5th. And then I shall not use high-end luxury seats. 6th, I shall not take food wrong times, which meaning that you only eat afternoon, and then after that you will not take any meals, but you still could drink. And then lastly, I shall not use neither perfume nor ornament. So there won't be any makeups or like wearing those special ornaments and earrings and such to make oneself beauty. I shall neither sing or nor dance. So you will not be going out in a club or just singing oneself folk songs or concerts or such, and then dancing, no dancing. But you can still chant beautifully, chanting prayers. So those are the 8 vows. I think the session, the teaching with Lama Tsutomi's group and KKSG were a little bit different. I think I covered more with Wisconsin Sangha, and I may you may see a little repetition, and you have to observe it. So regard with killing, the definition of killing always been as you really kill someone. Generally, always been the definition of the killing has been like a human being or abortion. You are pregnant and having abortion. But at the same time, any other form of killing, that's why when you do like 1 day fasting practice or 2.5 day practice of Nyenne, which you also recommend not to, if there's a way you can avoid, not to drive, not to travel, because you may kill a lot of insects, or you may encourage others to kill. You become the cause others to kill. So any killing stuff should be avoided regarding with killing. The actual definition, as I mentioned, killing this actual person or like having abortions. And then if you accidentally kill other sentient beings like bugs or insects or such, it does not uh, completely destroy the root vow, but it will partially destroy. And in regard not to steal, is that not intentionally steal other possessions, especially if we intentionally take something that is not belong to us. So it will also violate the vow. So in order to have a conscious effort or mindfulness, even like little grasses or piece of wood or piece of what any items, try not that is not belong to us, try not to touch or try not to take it. And then regard with sexual activities, try not to have any romantic desire. Of course, if you have actual activity will destroy, but also like any romantic kind of affection or even mentally, and always be mindful. And so text kind of details that if you see someone is very attractive and you look at them with compassion, not by such desire. And then God with not to lie. If you have like spiritual life, we call, if you say something that you are maybe already enlightened, or you maybe saw a vision of Buddha who prophesied or such, you try not to make up any spiritual lie which will destroy the root vow of not to lie. Also, if any minor kind of lies, like things that you say to others may not be true, that will also partially destroy. And in order to prevent this kind of violation, and even we shouldn't say any lie jokes, joking lie, because sometimes we have a we may joke, and then I think I probably sometimes do that, but I try to be very mindful. After I encountered some people think I thought I was real, and then I kind of forgot to say, oh, I thought it was a joke. So we try not to joke. If you joke something that is not true, you say I was joking, so kind of clarify. So that is, in order to prevent that, we try not even small lies to joke. And then regard with not to drink, and of course we shouldn't drink anything that related with alcohol or like beer or such. Anything that make our mind unstable. That includes like not to take any substances like drugs or such. The next, but it's not really like a particular order, but the fifth vow is not to drink. The next is make up in order other people to like us, and have perfumes, and wearing all the ornaments or like earrings, or all of this, and will destroy a root vow. And also like wearing special clothes, although it says in the Nyenne practice that we must take shower, make sure everything clean, and sometimes you wear the white cotton clothes. Everything is the clothes should be washed, wear nicely, taking shower and washing your hands, and really nicely cleaned your shrine, and everything. Cleanness is very, very important, but not out of desire, or out of fame, or out of jealousy, any of those type of emotions. And also not to sing songs or not to have dance, and in order to prevent those, should abandoning like running around or just talking loud or laughing loud, anything that is obvious, very vocal, and actions that may not be so calm. And then the regard with not to sit on high throne or high seats or luxury throne seats. We should not sleep or sit on such throne or bed higher than 1 cubit. And also wherever we sleep or sit shouldn't be made from such gold or silver. How many people sleep on gold, silver, or diamond? But there is exceptions. There are some exceptions, such as if someone is a teacher who gives teaching because of greatness of Dharma, and it is okay for them to sit on higher thrones, and when they give teaching, and although it doesn't say they can sleep on high thrones. I mean, nobody sits on high thrones, on high beds. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that even though you can't sing or dance, but still, if you are practicing, it's allowed to have chanting melodiously, because you are doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially those practices are also like has to do with purification of any damage that we may do with the vows. And then in regard with in order to prevent not to sleep and not to sit on high thrones or high beds, and it is said that we try to be humble and try to sit on ground or like lower seats. And I have mentioned with some of you that when Rinpoche was asked about by some practitioners, that because their bed is already is high, and what should I do? And Rinpoche said, put a mat on floor on that particular day and sleep on the ground or couch, or that's not so high. And then regard with untiming meal, not to eat a meal in after afternoon, no any solid meals or food. And it is said that if you are a patient or someone is sick, has to take medicine, you are allowed. You are also, or you could drink like a soft liquid that it has to do with the or water or juice that is soft. So basically the entire practice of Nyenne, just like Nyenne, relying upon, there's a word in Tibetan, there's 3 white foods like yogurt, butter, and milk or something, but basically vegetarian diet. Vegetarian diet, because it doesn't say you can't eat cheese or like the milk, it's not a vegan diet. Vegetarian diet. So those are some of the description about 8 vows. And also I went through the benefits of keeping these vows, which I wasn't able to go through Cape KKSG, so I may repeat it again. So there are some different and there are some descriptions about the benefits of protecting these vows. And the first, when Buddha, during the time of Buddha, there's a sutra called, recorded by the son of the god or Deva, and talk about how effective the Nyenne practices in certain dates, like 15th lunar calendar or 8th lunar calendar, or like full moon, etc. And also, there's another sutra recorded by one of his disciples, and talk about the benefits. That's what I'm trying to share. Benefits of each of these vows, protecting each of these vows. By abandoning killing or taking the vow of not to kill, the benefit is that you're going to achieve Vajra body, which means Buddhahood. Similarly, then the remaining 7 vows, such as not to steal, etc., all the way to the end, not to, take a meal, will achieve some of the Buddha's major marks, such as there are like marks. He has this Dhamma wheel and his palms, and his hands, more like connected, proportionally connected to each other. His fingers, and then his tongue is able to cover his face. He has such a melodious voice that can tame and whoever hears. And then he has 40 proportioned white teeth, can bring the essence of food, or like a tasty. So whoever sees his teeth can benefit. He has this spontaneous, innate kind of a scent or smell, beautiful smell of pure moral discipline, etc. Those are the benefits of protecting the vows. It says that if you practice these 8 vows, or the one day practice, only one day. If you practice these 8 vows, protect it one day, you definitely will be free from the eons, the eon of weapons, which means you will not be born in such place you are in danger by war or weapons. Abandoning evening meals, and wherever you take rebirth will have excellent crops. You will receive food or drink or without any effort. Abandoning dancing or wearing ornaments by desire, you always achieve beautiful body, fits for any society. And also you will always have all the faculties and achieve spring body, which means precious human body with such a beautiful smell. Abandoning high seats or luxury seats or beds, and others will always respect you and always praise you. and we'll have uh, wherever you go, there's transportation, or you always have those without much effort. Yeah, here's the full description. I think the one I went through, for example, there's if you are abandoning or like taking the vow of not to kill, you throughout your life, you always have long life, healthy body, and you have a lot of radiant or prosperity in your life. Abandoning or taking vow of not to steal. Oh, oh, that's something. Taking the vow of is that right? That's right, not to steal. And you throughout your life, you always have abundance of wealth. Uh, Taking the vow of not to have any sexual activities throughout your life, you're always beautiful, and you have all the faculties of a beautiful body. Taking the vow of not to lie, spiritual lie. People always trust you, they will not deceive you, and they will respect your speech, talks. Taking the vow of not to drink, you always have stability of mindfulness, abundance of knowledge. And then the rest is like what I mentioned earlier about not to sleep on not to sleep or not to sit on high thrones, luxury thrones. You're always respected by others, and you always have a good place to sleep, and you always get right. You know, I kind of when it says you always get right, it's like oh you hijack. You just do this. Everybody, oh, I will lift you. You walk in a street, can I have a ride? Yes. Supposed to be a joke, actually. Abandoning untimely food, there's always have excellent crops, and you always receive food and drink without any effort. Abandoning perfumes or ornaments or like all this makeups, and you always have such beautiful smell of your body. And then abandoning singing, based on a desire or such singing or dancing. You always have a very peaceful mind. Who doesn't want that? Yeah, you'll be very calm throughout your life, because and you always propaganda, or else you always will be teaching the sound of Dharma through your speech. So those are some of those benefits. So also we explained before. So all of these vows, all these explanations connects with the definition of sojong. That's the word, sojong vow. So means refreshing or accumulating, refreshing all of your virtuous actions. And then jong means purifying all of negative karma. So all of these vows essentially connects with that. Now, those are the benefits of keeping these vows. And now the following are the defects if we break in the vows. After we take the vow, those 8 vows, as you recall from the sutra story that, the individual who took vow, 2 individuals, and they made aspiration, Chakripata as a deva and king, and then the one who protected, the one who succeeded, taking rebirth as a king, and then other didn't make it, took as a naga, which is the part of animal realm, and tremendous suffering. So taking a vow could be easy, but protecting the vow is more essential. And this case may not be that hard actually, but it has to have such mindfulness. And I will share you a story that after I taught this Sojong for a few groups, and then first group with Chinese and English, and we all took Sojong vow, and I personally didn't do really well. And I remember that, after Sojong vow, and then my son comes, always I take care of my son, and then he has this little jar with, peanuts. And he brought that to me, and I just forgot. I just ate some and give some, and then also, oops, I took Sojong vow home at the Sat home. And then also, on that particular day, I have a friend who was doing retreat with me, and so he doesn't eat evening meals during his retreat, and so we had lunch, and there was a apple pie, and I was like, oh, okay, after I ate apple pie, I would be really full. And all of a sudden, it's gone. Apple pie was taken by my friend, and I got mad. Then oh my God, I took Sojong vow on better Sato home. So I basically did a few rounds, or few recitation of 35 Buddha prayer and Vajrasattva mantra, because even though you may think you may did good practice, but there's always room for mistakes. So it was nice to chant, because the Nyenne practice doesn't have any specific requirement of such sadhana chant. However, it means to protect the vow, at the same time do any virtuous actions you could perform on that day, because it multiplies your virtuous actions. So now, regard with violating these vows, first, if you break the vow of not to kill, probably will never happen. But if you kill someone intentionally, and you will take rebirth in three lower realms, especially this hell realm called revival, which means based on negative karma, you will be kind of cut and smashed or such, and then once you die, you revive, and then you basically suffer again and again, especially how you kill that particular individual. And of course, karma can be exhausted or finished or purified through two types of events. One is through purification, through practice, we are able to purify negative karma and may not experience the result. The other is through experience, which means there's no abandonment. It's the example is that the sun, the moon, and the truth doesn't always there, which means there's daylight, sun, and then there's moon and night. There's a regardless if there's a cloud or not, it's always there. The truth it will always reveal. And if you experience those suffering of the negative karma of violating not to kill, and then experience those hell realm, maybe will be there for long term. And once you karma is purified, exhausted, and then you will may take rebirth. Even you take rebirth as a human being, and you will have a short life, and you will have some physical, another word like not a nice physical body, not pretty or like or some defects physically, and our mind is very dark and don't have much knowledge, and you always have a lot of fear, and always angry, and have a lot of illness. Always your mind is miserable, and those who are even like family such will separate from us, and so each killing we may need to we may need to repair like according to this description 999 or 300 killings to repair. Even you kill, the consequence if you don't purify negative karma, it's very severe. Even you kill one individual. And then second, stealing, breaking the vow of not to steal, we will immediately take rebirth as in hell realm, known as the crying hell realm, and constantly crying out of suffering. And if we free from that, take rebirth as a human being, and we will experience poverty. Even if you have some wealth, always will be exhausted or can't find new possessions. Whatever we have will diminish, and always poor. Others will not like us. And then the third vow, sexual activities. We will take rebirth in the greater crime. There's more suffering than others, like the hell realm known as the great crime, or and if we take rebirth as a human being, and for 500 years we may take rebirth as someone has defects like a disabled individual or leprosy or some physical disease, and not physically beautiful, and always take rebirth something like more like inferior rebirth, which means that a society places like doesn't accept you, and so always like serving society, like slaves such. And also you will have a lot of harms to in your life, many enemies, and so those are the experiences you may experience even if you take rebirth as a human being. If you break the vow of spiritual lie or lying, and you will take rebirth in hell realm known as the black lines, which means those yamas put a black line on your body and cut it. If you take rebirth as a human being, from free from that karma, and you always have you may take rebirth as a like someone cannot talk, or you may not have any compassion. You always have a lot of jealous, and you smell not good, and throughout your life you may not hear any dharma. And then breaking the vow of not to drink, immediately you may take rebirth in the hot hell known as drinking the liquid, hot liquids. And if you're free from that, and you always have like to sleep, you have a lot of ignorance, you have always having this, you're always easy to forget things, and are not intelligent, lack of knowledge, always have fear, a lot of debts, and we also don't have much dignity as a human being. We'll do a lot of things, not embarrassed doing bad things. Have a lot of jealous, a lot of greedy, and decrease our virtuous actions. You may also take rebirth as like yashas or dogs or crazy individual for 500 years. These descriptions, of course, if you take vow and break, but even if you don't take vow, doing these activities also has similar defects. So temporarily, I'm not able to find the rest of the description within this particular text. So I will find next time. All right. I think I'm not able to find I thought there was some description about the remaining vows. But sometimes like when we see the benefits, and it's kind of opposite. For example, like if we don't sleep on high beds or larger beds or on seats, and it says people respect us and etc., and then it could be opposite. But I thought the defects of those I saw somewhere, but I will try to find next time. So maybe I can give you some time to ask questions now.
Yes, we will do questions now. So you all have the ability to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question.
I have a question. I know you said that the vows take effect. We should take the vows in the morning before dawn. And when do they expire? Do they expire then the next morning at dawn, or when do the vows expire?
So we're supposed to take, after I always confused about this dawn thing. What's the dawn mean?
When the sun comes up.
Okay, so
right before the sun comes up.
Before sun comes up, yeah. Once, I mean, it's called, one day practice, and supposed to take the vow before sunrise. Dawn breaks, and the dawn breaks sometimes very, very early, right? But certainly try to take vow before sun breaks, and I mean not sun breaks, sunrise, and then you maintain. Oh, that's a little cat there. Ella, that's so cute. I have a cat called Yogi. And where am I?
Sunrise.
Okay, sunrise. So the before sunrise, and then you. I mean, the next session of the teaching, I will go through the ritual. I mean, there's the time. Of course, I will go through the like a lunar calendar. It's there are like 8 days in every month. So I will go through that. There's a story behind as well. So basically, it says Sonyama Masha Chipad. It says, before or until the sunrise, I take the vow. So you try to take the vow before sunrise, and then the next day, when dawn breaks, your vow is naturally released.
And do you need to have taken refuge to do this practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I have to also give the reading transmission. And, this is according to, this is people, when you go through the practice, first you take a refuge, and then after refuge, then you practice this, because as it mentioned in the refuge prayers descriptions, that any vow you take, if there's no refuge, nothing be contained. So refuge is like a gate and enter. So it's yes, it's important. And also there's Sojum vow. Some descriptions talk about we talk about lay precepts. There's particular lay practitioners protect the vow rest of their life. Basically the 4 root vows, and then the not to drink. And someone takes Sojum vow one day also considered like lay precept, but not particularly categorized in that the lay precept that you take vow whole life.
I have a question about, actually, I have 2 questions. The first one regarding vows. If you've already taken Pratimoksha vows for life, do you need to repeat the Sojong vows at the beginning?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
one day fasting practice. I know you already took the vow, and then in addition to that, there are vows like not to sleep on such, not to take a meal, and yes.
Okay. Thank you. And then the
You're
second,
welcome.
if you could just clarify for me, do we start with a meal at night, the night before we're going to be doing the practice? And then we can not eat again until the following morning?
So basically, how we practiced is that, the day you take vow, like before sunrise, and there's a liturgy to chant, the one I showed earlier through PPT, PowerPoint. I will be sharing that, Sadhana, at the end of my teaching. Once I finish this. And you'll be chanting that. There will be procedure like, how you chant, how you take a vow, and, etc. And then you will eat breakfast, and then, you may practice whatever you're going to practice. It can be like a Hundu practice, or can be recitation, or like, as I mentioned before, do something virtuous actions on that day. And then you will have the final meal. Final meal? I don't know. The last meal will be lunch. The lunch shouldn't be late. Lunch supposed to eat before afternoon, at least like start at 12 o'clock. And so at KTD, when we take Nyenne practice, I know Lama Tsotomishi also led Nyenne practice many times. Some of you may familiar that lunch should be latest, start with at 12 o'clock, and then try to finish sooner, like not like extending your lunch up till 2 o'clock or something, right? So that will be the meal, and then there won't be any meal, but you still could drink water, or like a soft juice or something. So another word, you are not eating your meal day before or anything, right? This is the 1 day practice. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, I don't remember when did I say that doesn't make sense. Okay, I will, throughout the teaching, I will make some crazy jokes. Don't take seriously. When I was in the retreat, I make some jokes. People get upset because I come from Tibet, and I thought it's very funny, and end up it's not. Sometimes I regret it. Actually, I made that joke, but that was really funny in Tibetan culture. Then I hear like our lamas who did retreat, and I think I have very funny stories now, and they will talk about it, and I couldn't get what's the story, where's the punchline, where should I supposed to laugh, you know? For them, because I don't laugh, certain punchline, wherever that would be, you know, if there was a such thing punchline in that joke. And so they think it's really funny that I don't get it. So they get to laugh, you know. The funny part is I don't get it. You know? Any other questions?
If there are no questions, then we could end it here, or you can decide to go on, Lama. It's up to you. But if you have a question, now is the time to ask it.
Yeah, but I'm really happy that, you know, you are attending these teachings, and I beginning after lineage prayer, I was chanting the prayer that we chanted throughout Rinpoche's 49-day puja, and every time I give teaching or just leading sadhana, I kind of really sense very strong presence of Rinpoche, that he's pleased, you know, and I appreciate your time, and this is something I feel always at home when I give teaching or leading practice, because I remember when I finished my second 3-year retreat, and you know, when I did the first retreat, I thought I was, you know, finished, and then the Rinpoche said, no, you have to do the second retreat. So I did second retreat, and then I didn't want to finish it. I said, I want to do third retreat. He said, no, you have to finish it. You have to travel. You know, that was 2008, and I traveled 2008 to 2018, and he always encourages me to teach, because he always say that I, you know, speak the language. I went to Dhamma school, and I went to retreat, even though you are not monk. And so he said, and you know, that's how I kind of, I feel, you know, family is family, right? You sometimes get busy, but I still always want to make sure there's a time for me to teach, and it makes me very happy. And I also feel Rinpoche is very happy as well. So thank you for your time, but not only teaching, but you have to do practice, not me. I'm the one who's teaching, you have to practice. I really very happy, especially I think you are very extremely lucky that Lama Sotomishi, you know, led like 8 seats of Nyenne practice few times, and he's very, you know, into it. And you know, this Nyenne practice is also another, you know, addition. So I think that would also help with the Nyenne practice. You know, it's kind of connected to each other. So I strongly encourage everybody, you know, to practice Nyenne or Nyenne. And of course, you know, if we have time in the future, I would also, you know, take time to teach about Nyenne practice. You know, maybe if Lama or others would like me to do that. But so that's it. And I would like to dedicate this merit of this morning session for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially sincerely we pray for what's going on, you know, currently, the war, and may the war pacified, and may our collected virtuous action and merit may change mind of those who are caused, and may Buddha's bodhisattvas gazing upon them and change their mind, and may there be peace in the world. Especially may all of us not to get upset, and as a practitioner always have compassion, always pray for them, sincere prayers for all of them, no exception. And we start with the long life of His Holiness Karmapa. Jaga Donza Wanga Gama Bao Jen Ronda Chene Shauten So Sonam Daye Tangje Zeva Nye Tane Nye Rana Banje Jega Nanje Balon Droba Yesebe Zole Doka Nyadojo. English first. May precious bodhicitta arise within those where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, may it ever grow and flourish. Jemba nyamba nebada kone konde dewa yo. All right, thank you, Lama, and everybody. Thank you for your time.